Welcome, listener, to the Boring Channel. Tonight, we will explore the slow and steady life of a Viking farmer. As you settle into your resting place, allow your mind to drift back over 1,000 years, to the cold northern lands where hardy men and women toiled from dawn to dusk. This is the story of their everyday existence, a tale not of battles or conquests, but of quiet persistence and simple survival. Let us begin. The Viking farmer lived in a world shaped by nature's rhythms. The land was both harsh and generous. Winters were long and cold, summers short and often damp. Each day began with the first light creeping over the horizon, a soft grey glow spilling through the wooden shutters of a small timber-built home. The farmer would rise, feet touching the cold earth floor, the chill a reminder of the coming day. Morning tasks were slow but necessary. Tending to the animals was paramount. Cattle, sheep, and pigs needed feeding, their shelter cleaned, water drawn from nearby wells or streams. The farmer's hands, rough and calloused, moved deliberately, measuring out grain or root vegetables saved from last harvest. The animals were more than livestock. They were wealth, food, clothing, and labor. Caring for them demanded patience and respect. Next came the fields. The soil was tough, often rocky. Clearing stones was a daily chore, stones picked and piled. At the edges, creating rough boundaries, the farmer wielded a wooden plough, often pulled by an ox or sturdy horse. Ploughing was a slow process, furrow by furrow, turning the earth in preparation for seed. The rhythm of the ox's steps, the creak of the harness, the soft thud of the ploughshare breaking the soil, all blended into a quiet song of labor. Sowing seeds was done with care. Barley, rye, oats, and sometimes wheat were scattered by hand. The farmer paced slowly, scattering grain evenly, mindful of wind and ground. After sowing, the fields were left to the mercy of weather and time. Growth was slow, measured in weeks and months, with the farmer watching the horizon and skies more than the soil beneath his feet. Midday brought a brief respite. Meals were simple, often cold by the time they were eaten: dark rye bread, salted fish, cheese, and perhaps some root vegetables. The farmer sat quietly, chewing slowly, conserving energy for the tasks still ahead. Conversation was minimal, voices low. The day was not for leisure, but for enduring. Afternoon work varied by season. In spring and summer, repairs to fences. Thatch roofs and wooden tools filled the hours. The farmer moved methodically, sawing, hammering, weaving straw into tight bundles. In autumn, the focus turned to harvest. Grain stalks were cut with sickles, then bound into sheaves. The weight of the harvest was heavy, sweat soaked into rough wool clothing. Each bundle was tied, stacked carefully to dry and await threshing. Threshing was a slow, laborious process. Beating the grain to separate kernels from chaff required patience and strength. Families often worked together, rhythmically swinging flails, dust rising with each strike. The grain was then winnowed, tossed into the air on windy days so the lighter chaff blew away. This step was quiet and slow, punctuated only by the soft rustle of stalks and the farmer's measured breaths. Throughout the year, the farmer maintained a vegetable garden near the home. Turnips, onions, leeks, and cabbages grew in small plots, nurtured carefully. Watering was done by hand, the soil gently loosened with a small hoe. The garden was a source of steady food, its cycles observed with patience. Harvesting vegetables was gentle work, bending slowly to pull roots from earth, brushing dirt away with calloused hands. Evening fell early in the northern lands. As twilight crept in, the farmer tended the hearth. Wood was gathered, split, and stacked methodically. Lighting the fire was done with slow precision, striking flint against stone, coaxing sparks to tinder. The glow of flames warmed the small home, casting flickering shadows on rough wooden walls. Meals in the evening were again simple but hearty. Stews made from salted meat or fresh fish simmered slowly in heavy pots. Barley porridge thickened over low heat. The farmer ate quietly, savoring each mouthful with slow appreciation. After eating, tools were cleaned, animals checked once more, and preparations made for the coming night. Before sleep, the farmer might sit by the fire, eyes heavy, thoughts quiet. The mind drifted over the day's labor, the steady passing of time marked only by the turning of the seasons. Life was hard, but measured, and that measure brought a strange peace, asterisk, as darkness deepened. The farmer lay down on a bed of straw or furs. The chill of the night was tempered by thick blankets. The rhythm of breathing, the creak of the wooden walls settling, the distant calls of night creatures, all blended into a slow lullaby. Sleep came gently, slowly, like the slow turning of the earth itself. But before the farmer truly surrendered to the night, the day's concerns lingered softly in his thoughts. He might recall the worn edges of his wooden tools, smoothened by years of use, yet still prone to splinter or break. The handle of the axe, scarred from countless swings, demanded careful attention. Each tool was precious, often repaired rather than replaced, a testament to patience and frugality. The farmer would think of the slow process of whittling and shaping handles, scraping and smoothing with sharp knives fashioned from bone or iron, working by the fading light of the hearth, or a flickering candle made from tallow or beeswax. His mind drifted to the changing seasons, each bringing its own rhythms and tasks. Winter was a time of endurance, the land resting beneath snow and ice. Fires were kept low but steady, conserving precious wood. The farmer's body, hardened by work, slowed during the cold months, conserving energy. Days were short, sunlight fleeting. The long nights were filled with quiet reflections and stories told by firelight, voices low and measured. Food stores were carefully rationed dried fish, salted meat, hard bread, and every crumb was precious. Spring marked a slow awakening. The thaw revealed muddy fields and streams, swollen with melted snow. The farmer prepared seed stores, checking each grain for signs of spoilage, sorting carefully by hand. The plough was inspected, wooden parts oiled with animal fat to prevent cracking. Early mornings were cool and damp, mist rising in soft clouds from the earth. Slowly, the first shoots pushed through the soil, fragile and pale. Summer days stretched, longer but brought relentless work. The farmer rose before dawn, the cool air filled with the scent of damp earth and growing grain. The sun climbed steadily, warming the fields as hands wielded sickles in practiced arcs. Every movement was deliberate, conserving strength for the hours ahead. Harvesting was a slow, repetitive task, binding sheaves with twine made from flax or hemp. The sun's heat was both blessing and burden, drying grain but demanding sweat and care. The garden near the home was a world of quiet cultivation. Rows of root vegetables grew slowly, their leaves unfurling under a gentle sun. The farmer would kneel on soft earth, fingers brushing soil aside to check on tender roots below. Water was drawn carefully in buckets or wooden tubs, poured slowly. To avoid washing away precious soil, weeds were pulled by hand, a slow and endless chore. The farmer's eyes traced the gentle rise and fall of the plants, learning patience from the earth's quiet growth. Clothing was another careful consideration. Wool spun from the farmer's own sheep was woven into rough but warm fabric. The process of carding, spinning, and weaving was slow, often done during the long evenings. Garments were patched and mended repeatedly, each stitch made with care. Leather boots were oiled and dried slowly to keep them supple, protecting the farmer's feet from rough ground and cold moisture. The weight of clothing shifted with seasons, layering thick wool in winter, lighter linens in summer. In the home, the fire was a constant companion. The farmer tended the hearth with slow, methodical care. Wood was chopped into precise lengths, stacked neatly to allow steady burning. Cooking was done in heavy pots, heated gently over glowing embers. Meals were slow to prepare. Stewing salted, meat with barley, simmering root vegetables, baking flatbreads on heated stones. The aroma of cooking mingled with smoke, filling the small dwelling. Eating was quiet, mindful. Each bite was savored slowly, energy conserved for the labors of tomorrow. Asterisk. Medicine was sparse, but grounded in natural knowledge. The farmer knew which herbs soothed aches, which leaves could be brewed into teas for colds. Gathering these plants was a slow, careful task, often done at dawn when dew still clung to leaves. Remedies were prepared with patience, dried, crushed, boiled, or steeped, their benefits unfolding gradually. The farmer's hands knew the texture of these plants intimately, a quiet knowledge passed down through generations. Neighbors were more than mere acquaintances. In times of need, help was given and received without haste or expectation. Repairing a roof, mending a fence, harvesting a field, these tasks were slow and communal. The farmer's thoughts lingered on the rhythm of shared labor. The gentle conversation exchanged in soft tones, the quiet satisfaction of cooperation. Social bonds were slow to form, but strong once rooted. The storage of food for winter was another slow ritual. Grain was dried carefully, spread on woven mats, turned by hand in gentle rhythms to avoid mold. Root vegetables were stored in cool pits lined with straw, a natural refrigerator beneath the earth. Barrels of salted fish were checked regularly, lids sealed tight against spoilage. The farmer's mind dwelled on these preparations, the slow but steady accumulation of resources, a quiet guarantee of survival. As the night deepened, the quiet world outside the home carried its own steady rhythm. The wind brushed softly against wooden walls, the branches of trees creaked and swayed in gentle cadence. Animals rested in their pens, the occasional low murmur or shuffle breaking the silence. The stars wheeled slowly overhead, ancient and unchanging. The farmer's breathing grew deep and even, the mind settling into the slow, cyclical dance of rest. The body, tired from a day of measured labor, softened into the bed of straw or furs. Blankets shifted gently, warmth spreading slowly, cocooning the sleeper against the chill. The wooden walls, aged and steady, creaked softly as if whispering lullabies in an old tongue. In this slow passage from wakefulness to sleep, the farmer joined the great cycle of the earth, the measured turning of seasons, the quiet flow of time itself. The simple life, filled with deliberate, unhurried tasks, carried a profound calmness. The steady beat of work and rest, of effort and peace, settled softly into the soul. And now, as you listen, Allow your own breath to deepen, your muscles to relax. Let the slow rhythm of the farmer's world ease you toward rest. The night is long, the darkness gentle. Sleep comes softly, slowly, like the steady turning of the earth, like the slow, unending dance of life itself. Good night.